Imagine walking into a multi-billion-dollar aerospace facility.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, picture it. It is just this massive maze of steel, high-pressure pipes, and, roaring machinery that you have literally never seen before in your life.
Sounds terrifying, honestly.
Right. You have no manual, you have no veteran mentor tapping you on the shoulder, but instead of guessing or panicking, you put on a pair of safety glasses.
Okay.
You look at this massive industrial compressor, and the system instantly recognizes the machine, overlays digital instructions right in your field of vision, and guides your hands safely through a really complex maintenance procedure.
I mean, it's a scenario that completely upends our traditional understanding of how human expertise is acquired, like how it's actually applied in the physical world.
Exactly.
Because for decades, the assumption has always been that you need years of site-specific experience to safely operate in these extreme environments.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into some newly released materials that suggest that assumption is suddenly outdated.
Very outdated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are looking at a stack of documents released literally today, June 24th, 2026, from an enterprise software company called EON AI Ventures.
Right. They just dropped a press release.
They did. We have their press release, along with some really extensive excerpts from a new white paper they put out. It's titled EON Universal, Bridging the Industrial Expertise Gap with AI.
It's a fascinating read.
It really is. So our mission today is to figure out how heavy industry is attempting to solve this massive looming workforce crisis. And interestingly, they aren't trying to program robots to replace humans.
Right. Which is what you'd expect, usually.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, they are trying to turn inexperienced new hires into instant experts. And they're doing this using a wild new concept they call facility-agnostic field intelligence.
Quite the buzzword.
It is. Okay, let's unpack this, because the technology is really only half the story here.
Yeah, absolutely.
The driving force behind this is the sheer panic in sectors like energy and manufacturing over a demographic time bomb.
Yeah, it's a crisis that industry insiders are actually calling the silver tsunami.
The silver tsunami.
Right. When you look at process-intensive sectors, so oil and gas, aerospace, advanced manufacturing,
Right.
you are looking at a workforce where a huge generation of operators and maintenance engineers are hitting retirement age all at once,
They're just walking out the door.
in droves.
Yeah.
And, the fundamental issue isn't just finding warm bodies to fill those empty shifts. The real crisis is what those retiring workers are taking with them inside their heads.
Right.
It's decades of tacit knowledge.
Tacit knowledge, meaning like the unwritten rules, the gut instinct that, really only comes from doing the exact same job for 30 years.
That is exactly it. I mean, a maintenance manual might give you the technical specs of a pump, sure, but it doesn't tell you that this specific pump starts vibrating at a very specific frequency,
You're right.
like 2 days before a seal blows.
Right, the manual doesn't know that.
Exactly. It doesn't tell you the exact amount of torque to apply to a rusted valve before it snaps in half. That's tacit knowledge. It is highly situational, gut-level understanding.
And the 22-year-olds stepping into these roles today just simply do not have that experience.
They don't. And in heavy industry, a mistake doesn't just mean a delayed shipment or, a typo on a quarterly report.
No, a mistake means a catastrophic failure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you turn the wrong valve in a high-pressure refinery, you are looking at a severe safety risk, massive environmental damage, or literally an explosion.
The stakes are literally life and death.
So obviously tech companies have recognized this problem, right? And they've tried to build digital tools to help these new workers. But the source material points out that the old approach to this was fundamentally flawed from the very start.
Right. The historical approach relied on a software engineering concept called enumeration.
Enumerate?
Yeah. Basically, tech companies would try to digitally model every single facility, site by site. They'd send teams in with scanners to map every inch of a specific refinery, program every single maintenance procedure for that exact custom layout, and build what we call a digital twin.
Which, I mean, sounds great in theory. You get a perfect 3D replica of your factory.
In theory, yes, it sounds amazing. But in reality, it is a complete administrative and financial nightmare.
Why is that?
Because heavy industry doesn't mass-produce identical factories. There are thousands and thousands of individually engineered facilities globally. Literally, no two are exactly alike.
So wait, the moment you finish mapping a multi-billion-dollar facility, someone, replaces a pump or reroutes a pipe.
And your $1 million digital twin is suddenly out of date. It's useless.
Oh, wow. That's brutal.
which is exactly why the EON white paper refers to enumeration as an effectively unbounded problem.
An unbounded problem.
Yeah, it is a bottomless pit of custom programming. You can literally never finish the job because the environment is always changing, and the sheer volume of unique locations makes it impossible to scale.
Okay, visualize this for a second if you're listening. It is like trying to learn how to speak a new language by attempting to memorize every single possible sentence that could ever be spoken.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right, it is a completely unbounded problem. You would literally never finish. To actually speak a language, you don't memorize sentences. You learn the grammar, you learn the vocabulary and the rules of the language so you can generate your own sentences on the fly in any new situation.
That is a brilliant way to frame the engineering breakthrough behind EON Universal.
Yeah.
They looked at the industry and recognized that enumeration was a total dead end.
Yeah.
So they shifted the entire paradigm from enumeration to composition.
This raises an important question, because if they aren't mapping these facilities beforehand, how does the AI have any idea what it's actually looking at? Like if I put on these glasses in a refinery the AI has literally never seen before, how does it guide me safely?
By learning the vocabulary of the machines rather than the layout of the buildings.
Okay.
Instead of trying to program thousands of different locations, EON captures a finite library of core equipment classes. The white paper highlights that across all of these incredibly complex industrial environments, there are really only about 50 core classes of equipment.
Wait, 50? That seems impossibly low for an entire industrial sector. I mean, an aerospace facility and a natural gas plant look like alien worlds compared to each other.
They do, absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you strip away the massive scale and the really specific engineering layouts, a facility is ultimately just an arrangement of known universal components.
Like what?
We're talking about pumps, compressors, separators, heat exchangers, valves, and analytical instruments.
Okay, so EON Universal just deeply learns these 50 core building blocks.
Deeply is the operative word there. And they didn't just, invent this list of 50 components in a Silicon Valley boardroom. They anchored this entire AI library to an existing framework called ISO 14224.
ISO 14224. Okay, for those of us who don't spend our weekends reading international engineering standards, what exactly is that?
Fair question. It is the international standard utilized heavily by the petroleum, petrochemical, and natural gas industries. It dictates the exact taxonomy and reliability data structures for equipment.
Okay, so it's a shared vocabulary.
Exactly. It's the agreed-upon universal language for how machines are classified and, crucially, how their failures are documented.
But why does an AI company care about a taxonomy standard from the petrochemical industry?
Because it solves the enterprise integration problem.
Ah, okay.
By building their AI on ISO 14224, the AI natively speaks the customer's exact data language from day one. When the AI recognizes a centrifugal pump, it categorizes that pump using the exact same data structure that the oil company already uses in their SAP or IBM Maximo backend systems.
Oh, I see. So the AI isn't just existing in a silo. It plugs right into the massive enterprise software these companies already use to run their businesses.
Precisely. So when our hypothetical worker walks into a brand new unmapped facility wearing those assisted reality glasses, the system isn't trying to match the room against some pre-downloaded 3D map.
Right.
It scans the environment using computer vision and recognizes the components based on that universal ISO standard.
I want to pull in a quote from Dan Ledgerskar here. He's the founder and chairman of EON AI Ventures from their press release today. He states, quote, "You don't program 5,000 locations. You program the vocabulary the locations are built from," end quote.
That right there is the absolute essence of composition over enumeration.
It's essentially Lego blocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't need the AI to memorize the instruction booklet for a massive 5,000-piece Lego castle. You just need the AI to perfectly understand what a 2x4 brick is, what a 2x2 brick is, and the physical rules for how those two bricks click together. Once the AI understands the fundamental bricks, it can look at any newly built castle and instantly understand its structural integrity. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because recognizing a heat exchanger or a high-pressure valve is, cool computer vision, but it doesn't actually solve the silver tsunami problem. How does understanding the vocabulary of a machine actually translate into safely teaching a novice how to fix it?
That brings us to how EON actually operationalizes this technology out in the field.
Yeah.
Because, having a smart AI model is totally useless if you can't deliver that intelligence to a worker holding a wrench.
Right.
EON delivers this through a continuous, multi-step platform they call the intelligence flywheel.
The intelligence flywheel. Okay, let's break down the mechanics of this. Where does the knowledge actually come from in the first place?
Mhm.
Like, how do you get 30 years of gut instinct out of a retiring engineer's head and into an AI?
That happens in the first phase of the flywheel, which they call Genesis.
Genesis, okay.
Genesis is the knowledge capture engine. The platform ingests existing structured data, so things like technical manuals, historical reliability data, maintenance logs, stuff like that.
So all the paper records.
Exactly. But more importantly, it provides a structured framework for subject matter experts, those retiring veterans we talked about, to actually input their tacit knowledge.
Oh, so they aren't just scanning old PDFs. The system is designed to extract the unwritten rules for specific ISO components and structure them into a machine-readable format.
Correct. It builds a universal competence record for that specific component. Once that knowledge is locked in, the flywheel moves to the delivery phase. They call this field IQ.
Field IQ.
Yeah, this is the software actually running on the worker's assisted reality glasses or an intrinsically safe tablet at the physical point of work. Field IQ takes the competence record built in Genesis and translates it into step-by-step situational guidance overlaid right on the equipment the worker's looking at.
Okay, so the veteran's brain goes into Genesis, and Field IQ beams it into the new hire's glasses.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I am a plant manager, I am instantly terrified by what happens next. How do I know the new hire actually followed the instructions? What if they turn the valve left instead of right?
That is the critical missing link in most training systems, and it is exactly what the third phase of the flywheel, Assess IQ, is designed to solve.
Okay, Assess IQ.
Assess IQ utilizes the cameras and sensors on the worker's glasses to actively measure whether the physical work is being performed correctly. It's actually using computer vision to verify valve positions, read analog gauges, and confirm that the steps were followed perfectly.
Wow. So it is actively watching the work and grading it in real time.
Yes.
But wait, what happens if the AI's guidance was actually wrong? I mean, we've all used AI chatbots that sound incredibly confident while giving completely fabricated answers.
Oh, absolutely. And that is exactly why Assess IQ doesn't just grade the human, it grades the machine.
Really?
Yeah, it verifies whether the procedural guidance provided by Field IQ actually resulted in a successful maintenance outcome.
Which leads to the final step of the flywheel.
Yes, Compound IQ. This is the feedback loop. The verified outcomes from the field, whether it was a total success or some weird edge case failure, are fed back into the core system.
So it learns from it.
Exactly. This means the library of knowledge isn't static. Every single time a worker completes a job at any facility around the world, the underlying model gets slightly more accurate for the next person who uses it.
The knowledge compounds. It's a self-improving loop.
Yeah.
You know, if we connect this to the broader corporate world, EON is really trying to position this work intelligence platform as a brand new enterprise system of record.
Definitely.
Think about how a company uses Salesforce to track every single interaction with a customer, or how they use Workday as a definitive database of all their employees. Those are systems of record.
What's fascinating here is heavy industry has never had a true system of record for operational competence. No, never. The actual living record of how skilled work is performed on the factory floor has historically been scattered across dirty paper binders, disconnected PDFs, and, well, the minds of people who are currently retiring.
So work intelligence becomes the structured, living database of human operational expertise. It captures it before it vanishes.
Exactly.
But I have to push back hard on the safety aspect here.
Okay, let's hear it.
I am not letting an AI anywhere near a high-pressure valve if there is even a 1% chance it might hallucinate a maintenance step. I mean, a chatbot making up a fake legal case is embarrassing. An AI making up a fake procedure in a petrochemical plant is a mass casualty event.
You're completely right.
How does this system prevent hallucinations from killing people?
It is the most vital question you can ask about this technology, and it is why you cannot just take a general-purpose language model and slap it into a refinery. The margin for error is absolute zero.
Right, zero.
EON addresses this reality by wrapping the AI in two incredibly strict governing layers designed specifically to act as trust gates.
Trust gates. Okay, walk us through these governing layers. How do you put a kill switch on an AI?
The first layer is called EON Conductor. You can think of it as an intelligent router. When a worker looks at a machine, Conductor ensures that the task is routed only to the specific verified knowledge model associated with that exact ISO component.
Okay.
So it completely prevents the system from pulling in generalized, unverified internet data. But the true kill switch, the real safeguard, is the second layer. It's called EON verdict.
EON verdict. How does a piece of software pass a verdict on its own intelligence?
By calculating its own probabilistic certainty.
Okay, break that down.
EON verdict's entire purpose is to evaluate the computer vision data coming from the glasses and decide if the system is confident enough to give guidance in the first place.
Let's say a worker is looking at a compressor, but the lighting is terrible, or the compressor has been heavily modified and doesn't perfectly match the AI's internal model.
Right, the visual data is messy.
Exactly.
EON verdict measures that discrepancy. If its mathematical confidence drops below a very strict threshold, especially on safety-critical equipment, verdict is explicitly programmed to halt the procedure.
Oh, wow.
It refuses to guess. It throws up a stop sign
Yeah.
and forces the worker to escalate the situation to a human supervisor.
So it knows what it doesn't know.
Exactly.
That is a massive distinction. A dangerous employee is the one who tries to guess their way through a complex problem just to avoid looking incompetent. But a valuable employee is the one who puts their wrench down and says, this looks weird. I need the boss.
Yes.
EON verdict forces the AI to be the safe employee.
And importantly, the white paper is remarkably transparent about these limitations. They are actively managing expectations here. They explicitly state that while this platform instantly advances a new hire's competence for routine and non-routine tasks, it does not pretend to offer 30 years of veteran judgment during a rare cascading failure on day one.
Right. Matster Hansen, the president of EON AI Ventures, actually addresses this directly in the document.
What does he?
Yeah. He says, quote, "We are not pretending to replace 30 years of experience overnight. That compounding is the part general-purpose AI cannot replicate because it is built on real proprietary operational expertise rather than average public knowledge," end quote.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Johansson is pinpointing the exact failure point of consumer AI in heavy industry. Standard AI averages out billions of data points scraped from the public internet.
Right.
It gives you the most statistically likely answer, but fixing an aerospace turbine doesn't require an internet average. It requires exact, proprietary operational truth.
And it requires the physical hardware to survive the environment. I mean, the white paper outlines some incredibly harsh realities about deploying this technology in the field that you just don't have to think about in a cozy office setting.
Oh, the physical environment in heavy industry is actively hostile to consumer electronics.
Yeah.
You cannot just walk into a natural gas facility with a standard iPad.
No, because a standard iPad battery could theoretically short out, produce a microscopic spark, and ignite atmospheric gases.
Exactly. Which means the hardware running Field IQ has to be certified as intrinsically safe.
Intrinsically safe.
Yeah, this means the devices are physically engineered so that they are completely incapable of producing enough thermal or electrical energy to cause an ignition, even if the device is dropped and completely shattered.
Wow. And then you have the network problem. I really want to dive into the connectivity aspect here because these facilities are essentially giant Faraday cages.
really are.
You are surrounded by massive structures of solid steel, high voltage equipment, and miles of thick piping. Relying on a stable Wi-Fi connection to reach a cloud server in an environment like that is a joke.
Which makes cloud-based AI effectively useless on the factory floor. I mean, if the worker is halfway through a critical valve replacement and the Wi-Fi drops, the AI can't just freeze.
It can't. The AI has to be running locally on the device itself. This is what the tech world calls edge computing, right?
Exactly. The processing power and the specific component models have to live entirely on the edge, meaning on the actual processor built into the glasses or the tablet the worker is holding.
Right.
EON engineered the system for resilient operation at the edge so that even when the network connection inevitably goes dark, the AI just keeps recognizing equipment. It keeps guiding the procedure, and EON verdict keeps governing safety without missing a single beat. The intelligence is untethered from the cloud.
So what does this all mean? We have explored a vast amount of highly technical ground today, from the unbounded problem of enumeration to ISO standards, computer vision flywheels, and intrinsically safe edge computing. But if you step back from all the engineering schematics, the core narrative here is really profound.
It is. We are witnessing a fundamental redesign of how human knowledge is preserved and transferred.
That is exactly the takeaway. Whether you manage a massive industrial workforce, whether you build software, or you are simply fascinated by how technology tackles seemingly unsolvable problems, the shift is undeniable.
Absolutely.
We are abandoning the impossible task of memorizing every variable in a complex environment. Instead, we are teaching systems the underlying vocabulary of a domain, allowing them to dynamically compose solutions in environments they have never even encountered.
Yeah.
EON AI Ventures is addressing the silver tsunami by ensuring that when the 30-year veterans finally clock out for the last time, their hard-won gut-level expertise doesn't just vanish into retirement. It gets captured, structured, mathematically governed, and beamed directly into the safety glasses of the 22-year-old taking their place.
It converts fleeting human intuition into a permanent, compounding corporate asset.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating question to mull over as we wrap up. We have just examined how EON Universal deconstructs and captures the highly technical, tacit knowledge of an industrial engineer. But if we can successfully encode the 30-year gut instincts of a refinery worker into a composable AI vocabulary,
What else could we do?
right, what other disciplines built on unwritten tacit knowledge are next? Could the subtle, intuitive expertise of a Michelin star chef, a master carpenter, or even a seasoned hostage negotiator be broken down into a fundamental vocabulary of microactions and beamed into the glasses of a novice?
That's a wild thought.
Think about your own profession, your own hard-won expertise that you can't quite explain in a manual. If an AI had to learn the fundamental vocabulary of what you do every single day, what would your 50 core components be? It is a wild thought experiment. But it is clear that walking into an unknown high-stakes environment doesn't seem nearly as terrifying when you finally possess the vocabulary to make sense of it all. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.